Testing 1 2 1 2. Welcome to House Culture Conversations. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. I will be in front of you in just a second. Soon as I figure out the right button to click, there I am. How's everybody doing? It is good to see you. We are on Twitch. We are on Facebook Live. We are on YouTube. So we hope you get a chance to see us. That's me interrupting myself. So I know I am live out there. Everybody in Twitch, good to see you. Thanks for vibing with us, fam. We have a special, just amazing opportunity tonight to hang out with some folks that have really been doing something special, not only in Twitch but in so many areas of this thing called house, and specifically deep house. And we're going to get a chance to talk with the Deep Night crew. So without further ado, Yogi Chick, what's happening? Welcome on in. I see you. And hey, don't hesitate to ask questions in the chat and just interact and engage. We'll try to make sure that we see all of your comments and answer all of your questions by this fabulous crew that we are going to bring on. And without further ado, the Deep Night crew with Portia and 210 DJ Russell Joseph. How are you guys doing this evening?
Hey. I'm doing all right. How are you?
DJ Russell Joseph is in the house and he's doing okay. How about you, 210?
These guys are like MIA right now.
Yeah, 210 is on mute. I guess they're trying to get everybody connected.
Oh, there's Portia.
Portia, what's happening? How are you?
I'm trying to get the people to turn the music down, yo. They can't hear each other. I'm like, if you guys can't hear each other, I can hear you super loud. Can you please turn it down?
Well, welcome to House Culture Conversations. How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys? I don't know whose phone I have. It's not my phone.
And DJ 210, how are you?
I'm good.
Well, good. Hey, well, Yogi Chick is in the chat, and I see folks coming on in. Again, if you're in the chat, go ahead, ask your questions, and say hello to the fam. I will be able to see the comments. All of you guys, if you will look into your comments, there's a way you can see all the comments coming through. So make sure you have in the comments that you select view all. I think it's like view all comments, and that way you'll see everything coming in. Like you see this note here coming in from Yogi Chick. We have Babu from New Zealand in the house. Good to see you, Babu. Thanks for vibing with us. And so without further ado, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourselves, where you're from, and talk a little bit about your musical background. We'll start with you, Portia.
Oh, me. Okay, I'm not ready, but I'll go ahead. I am from South Africa, born rather. I was raised in the Midwest in California, and then I moved to Florida, to Miami right before the pandemic. And recently I am living in Argentina for the last 3 months, but I'm back in the US to do like a 2-month tour, and then I'm going back to Argentina. My music background, I don't know if I can say like really like I have one as far as like a DJ, right? I've always been into music. I've always had music in my periphery. My mom's always played Motown when we were growing up, whether it's in the car or in the house. So that's kind of like my kind of background on music. But house music happened a little later in life. I would say it happened probably closer to my mid-30s. And I'm turning 41 in a week. So thank you. It's like more like a recent thing. So I feel like I've been introduced to the house scene fairly
youngster.
very recently. But I think South Africa's possession of house music has kind of taken the world by storm, and I kind of got swept in that. So that's kind of my introduction to house music.
I hear you. So we got a Virgo in the building. So my birthday is next week as well. I'm on Wednesday, just so you know. So
Get
Virgo's in the house.
ass.
Virgo's in the house.
Virgos.
210, tell us a little bit about you and some of your musical influences.
Um, my musical influences, it's crazy. It starts, you have Mike Dunn, you have Charisma, then you go back to Sticky Fingers for hip hop and R&B and Wu Tang. So it's all across the board. It's all across the board.
And you are, where are you from and where are you at now?
I'm in Toronto, Canada.
Now, you born and raised Canada?
Yes, I am. My parents are Jamaican.
Ah, okay, okay. So now we've got Canada covered. We've got the U.S. and South Africa. DJ Russell Joseph, how are you? Tell us a little bit about yourself and your musical influences.
Well, sir, thank you. I was born and raised in Toronto, Canada. My parents are both from Trinidad. So, um, I mean, as far as musical influences and stuff, all the music that I enjoy, like any kind of music, any kind of genre, is was because of my father. He listened to everything from um, Italian opera to soca to contemporary Canadian music. Like it was just all over the board. So I grew up appreciating all kinds. So
And I'm going to start with you. When did you start getting into DJing?
um, probably like around 1982. Do the math. Um,
It's been a
but
minute.
at school dances, the family parties, DJing, family basement parties, school dances, as I said, and then later on I progressed into clubs, playing with other guys in the clubs, and like some of the most iconic clubs in Toronto, as a matter of fact, in the '90s, especially in the '90s. So,
Now, what clubs were those?
wow, okay, we had one called the Copa. We had Um, we had one called Diamond that was strictly house on Wednesdays. Um, there was another one on the Danforth. Danforth is a street in Toronto. It's called the Spectrum. We hosted Sybil there. We hosted a whole bunch of people there. Like just clubs like that. A lot of R&B, a lot of house, a lot of reggae, a lot of soca, stuff like that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it was a fun time.
And 210, when did you get into DJing?
It's funny. I dabbled in it back in the 20, probably 1995, and then thought about it in 2000, and I got real serious with it in about 2012, 2013. And then it's funny, I started making music just for giggles, and then I released it to this label in Portugal, somewhat small label, and they liked it. And I was like, oh my God, what do I do? So at that point, then I said, let me just try to do this. And I did. It just worked out. I lucked out, and here I am.
Well, hey, I see someone you've collaborated with has just joined us. Case of Studio, we see you. Thanks for
Okay.
vibing with us on House Culture Conversations. Another dope producer. Great to
Absolutely.
have you. Great to have
Absolutely.
you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, Kasif is an incredible individual. His whole team, they're spot on. They're great. Great, great, great people.
And Portia, when did you start getting into DJing? You're on mute.
I am on mute. My bad. I started getting into DJing very late in the game. I feel like I'm definitely like one of the newbies, but I feel like for a good reason, a good purpose. I started DJing in 2020 in the summer of like the midst of the pandemic. I had just lost my job, kind of, sort of. Like we had, I worked in a physical therapy clinic, and patients and got older, and patients were very scared to come into the clinic. And being a new hire to the facility, my boss didn't have patients for me to see, so he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna have to take you off the schedule, and we'll see like how the pandemic progresses, and when things get better, I'll call you and we'll bring you back on." And I was like, okay. So I went home and I figured, let me do something different. Let me do something that I haven't done before. Let me try this DJ thing because I feel like I had tried a little bit of it maybe 6 or 7 months before, but I really didn't take it seriously, right? Because I didn't have the time for it. So this was my perfect opportunity to dabble in it and kind of see where it goes. I felt like I knew a lot of music, and Pablo, my boyfriend, was very constructive in saying, "Listen, you know so much music, you might as well try to see if you can make something of it." So he taught me how to DJ in the summer of 2020. So that's when I started DJing.
So I'm going to start with you, 210. What is it about house music that still continues to be so popular today?
It's an interesting question. I think it's because I call it the electronic jazz. I'm a big jazz
Mm.
fan, and jazz has this way of breaking the rules. And I think house is similar in that fashion where it allows people to be as creative as they want, and you're not confined to just this window. And I think that's why house has stood the test of time. Why it's not super pop, but at the same time, it's not completely underground. It's this pocket where you're allowed to be who you want to be.
What would you add to that, Portia?
Definitely that. I feel like this music of ours connects people from literally all over the world and from different backgrounds, and I feel like that's what makes it rich and what makes it continue on, right? So I feel like for me it connects me to a lot of people that I had not met before when I went to, let's say, started playing. I got to meet people like these guys right from Toronto. Like, never saw myself going to Toronto. Like, why would I go to Toronto? So it connected me to such amazing people that I didn't know worldwide. But I mean, even before I started DJing, I lived in LA, and there were definitely a lot of people who came from all over the place who came to parties in LA. Who I went to WMC, I went to party there, so it connected people from different backgrounds, different ethnicities, sexual orientations, and it didn't matter because we're all there for the love of this music. And so I feel like that's what makes music.
Well, DJ Russell Joseph, how would you kind of end cap that discussion about why house is just so powerful and as popular as ever?
Basically, you could take bits and pieces from what my partners just said, but I'm going to add that living in the city, following world renowned DJs here, house DJs in particular, and then hopping onto a platform and basically playing alongside them, if you will. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'll
Yeah.
just shoot out some examples. K-Civ is one. I followed that guy for years in production. Like, I mean, just crazy stuff. Another one from Toronto is 83 West, Tyrone. Like, I mean,
Mm.
I used to buy records off Tyrone back in the day, back in the 90s, right? And he was already huge back then, right? Within the community. So that aspect, you're basically playing alongside guys who you enjoyed, if you will, growing up with. Do you know what I mean? On the scene, in the music scene, it's in the city. So yeah.
Well, I tell you what, welcome Raiders. We have been raided, so we got the whole fam. DJ Paco D Ills 143. If I missed you, the chat's moving so fast. Letha 5555. We see you. Welcome on in. Good to see you. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Paco D, Anya, good to see you. Thank you guys for listening in. We're hanging out with the Deep Night crew. Before I ask a question that Yogi Chick asked, how did you guys get together?
Two Ten can answer that.
Okay, it's a very interesting story, but it's so organic. As Russell told a story about following DJs he admires, and Portia talking about the people that she's connected with. 83 West, he's in our neighborhood. I've known him since grade 9. Never talked to him deeply, but I knew him and his crew. And Russell Joseph, I used to follow him on Podomatic for years. Had no idea who he was until he did a show on Deeper Shades of House. Then I looked him up, found his Podomatic, and listened to him. And then we started Twitch, and Twitch kept going and going. And through organic conversations with DJ Lazy E, he explained to me that, oh, I see that you and Russ are on Twitch. You should probably connect with Portia. She's also from the States, and I think you guys would make a good connection. And I said, okay, and listened to Portia, and I was like, wow, she's fantastic. I said, Russ, you have to see this lady out in Miami. She's wild. He's like, okay. Him and I were already doing a Wednesday night. He was actually doing a Tuesday night to begin with, and I was doing a Wednesday night. And I had asked him, do you want to pair up? And he said, sure. We talked to Portia, and we said, would you like to be invited to play on one of the nights during the week? She's like, sure. So then we started it, and we wanted to change the name. She's like, no, no, no. Whatever you have, just keep it that name. And I was like, well, no, you're part of this. You're part of the. You're one of the captains on this captain.
There was a little bit of
captain's team.
resistance there.
Actually, there was. There was actually there was.
I wanted to change it. Jay and I wanted to change it. We wanted to.
Yeah, and she didn't want to.
Like, no.
Yeah,
You guys
no,
got
no.
that. I'm like,
Yeah, no.
yeah, but you're
like,
part of the crew now, man.
exactly.
Right?
Portia, unbelievable.
Portia, you're on mute.
You're on
Remember,
mute.
you're on mute.
Sorry, the
No
kids
way.
were here. My niece and her friends were here. Wait, I didn't know that. This is like news to me. So because I know like Jay, you were going by like Deeper, and Ross, you were going by like Nightcrawler. What did you guys want to change it to? Like I never knew this.
It wasn't a matter of changing the whole thing. It was just a matter of incorporating you within the crew.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like we went through
Yeah.
different discussions of how to kind of sort of add me into the mix. And you guys were like really adamant. I feel like about like me finding my own name and niche that would work. And I remember at some point I feel like I was like, what if we do like Deep Dark Night or Dark Deep Night or, and you guys were like, okay. And at first I wasn't sold, right? Because I was just like, let's do what you're doing, and I just like you attach me, like I'm just an appendix, like to to
You're
this
not an
whole.
appendix. You're wrong. Absolutely wrong.
Good one.
Take that back.
Thanks, reference. You know, appendix is rupture, right?
Yeah, like, that's and they get cut out. Like that's not what's happening. What are you saying?
I'm just
sorry,
saying,
Gila,
like,
on this side, yeah. Long story short, she resisted. She then agreed, and yes. Sorry, Portia.
I feel
Finish
like
it off.
you guys resisted the addition of. It's always interesting, right? Because when you get somebody else's perspective of a same situation, right, you have all these different angles. Because my angle was, hey, listen, I didn't know how long you guys had been playing on Wednesdays. And when Earl or DJ Lazy E was like, hey, I think you need to play more consistently, and like I feel like you and these two guys from Toronto would be like a good addition. I was like super hesitant because I was kind of dragging my feet about the Twitch thing. It hadn't worked out for me for probably like a good 3 months because I was playing on somebody else's channel. I never really, I feel like, planted my own seed in my own garden, if I may say. And so I feel like I was always playing under somebody else's umbrella. And so I felt like I didn't have roots, if I may say, like on Twitch, and I didn't really know where my stance was. So when he suggested that, he was really suggesting it so that I can play more frequently. And I didn't know where I would fit in this dynamic of YouTube. And so when you guys like said yes to me being part of it, I feel like you were asking me all these questions about like, okay, what kind of like name I wanted to go under, and I was kind of like, oh, like that's not something I thought about because I just wanted to play. Like, right, I wanted to play more consistently. Like, okay, I'm gonna play on Wednesdays with you guys. I'm gonna play from 6 to 8, and I don't think I thought of it as like more than that, right? I feel like it would like that's what I'm saying. Like maybe appendage is a word, not appendix. Right? So I feel like I was like an arm to this machine that was already created. And I definitely didn't feel, not that I wasn't feeling like I was part of Deep Night. I felt like I didn't know my own strengths. I feel like I didn't know my own roots, my own sense. And so coming on, I was like, well, I like the music you play. I play some of the stuff you play and stuff you play. But like in the mix of it all, like how would I gel with you guys? And anyway, but this is like news to me. Anyway.
That's what, hey, House Culture Conversations has often got the tea. So there you have it. But let me ask you a question. You know, Yogi Chick asked, how do you guys create, such fire sets? There seems to be continuity from, starting with Portia, going to 210, and then DJ Russell Joseph. Is that just something that naturally happens, or what's the magic behind,
There's
just
no
throwing
magic.
no
We
magic?
None.
there's no magic. We talk about this maybe
Yeah.
once or twice a month, and
Yeah.
and my partners can attest. We don't discuss who plays what. We
No,
don't discuss
Ever.
ever.
never,
Like I mean ever. And if
ever.
you notice, if you've been around long enough, if you listen carefully, you will hear that none of us repeats any of each other's tunes.
No,
Very very rarely. If it's something really popular, like a CO, like a CO track. We all love CO. Okay, like
for
I mean,
sure.
okay, there's your
Definitely.
pass. But we don't go into it and say, okay, Portia, you're on a 6, right? Okay, like what does your playlist look like? Like no, nobody does that anyway. But
No.
we
We've never
it
done it.
just kind of flows. It
It
just kind of
flows.
we kind of feed
Yeah.
off each other. Like following these two is complete and utter hell sometimes for me.
It's an utter hell to follow
I'm
Portia.
not prepared. Okay?
Every
And I've been
set.
at this for over 30 odd years, right? So
Yeah.
following up these guys sometimes is
No.
you know what I mean?
Russ, following up Portia is just as problematic. Honestly, Portia will put down a fire set. I'm like, what am I gonna do? And honestly, it's brutal because I'm not to say that I don't know what I'm going to do. I honestly don't know how to follow up, and I actually try not to because Portia has her lane, Russell Joseph has his lane,
Very good.
and I
Very
and I
well
have
said.
my lane, and I respect both of them with the utmost love I have for each of them. They're fantastic selectors, fantastic technically, just people wise, they're unbelievable, right? So dealing with just Deep Night in itself is a thing where it takes on its legs on its own.
And I feel like I would say for me, like that's what makes the night exciting for me, even as an insider, because we don't have a formula per se, right? We play what we find that we play what we find from files from previously, like right that we had like I feel like Russell is like the hoarder of the group. He has like
Yeah.
these tracks
Oh, unbelievable.
that he brings out, and you're like,
That
where
guy.
the fuck
That
did you
guy.
find that?
Yeah.
It's
Every
it's stuff
time.
that's not even like available, right? So I feel like the excitement for me as an insider of Deep Night, but also like I feel like sometimes I put myself on the outside because I'm always like when did that version of the same song that I might have played 2 weeks ago? Where did you find that? Like
Yeah.
because it's just it's I don't
Yeah.
know. It's like it's almost I feel like it's always a continuous like experience of like joy and like
Excitement.
envy and excitement,
Yeah.
but envy like in
Yeah.
a positive way, right? I feel like envy definitely has like a negative connotation, but it's like but like where and how did you find that version? And I feel like we
Yeah.
thrive a little bit on that. Like I feel like especially like for me and Russell, like it's like we're all about the versions, right? Like we
Right.
love Seal, like you said. But like you'll play a version of Seal that I've never heard. I'm just like, okay.
Because you know that those versions have been sitting for 11 years and gotten no
And
play.
it's insane.
No,
It's insane.
no play. No
And
club, no
and
gigs, nothing. But Deep Night came around and all that shit came to.
and I feel like
Yeah.
for me, that's what makes music exciting, and it's what
Absolutely.
makes being part of this team exciting for me because, like I said, yeah, we'll share some things. Like Tucson will come up with some, some new tracks that he's working on, or some collaborations that he's working on, some new music that we haven't heard, and he'll definitely share that, and we'll play that. We're like, oh, like this is nice. But like I feel like every week is it's a constant like it's like I can't wait to hear what you guys have to play because yes, I know that you're saying oh it's hard to follow you, but I feel like what you also play is so much fire that I'm like, God damn it! Like I don't know, like it's I don't know,
No, I'll be open. I've listened to Potomatics from Mr. Russell Joseph, and to this day I can't find the tracks.
no,
And I've given it a solid
You
try to
probably
find
won't.
them,
you cannot.
and I
You
probably
probably
won't.
won't.
You
There you
won't.
go. You heard
And
that
that's
for the record. There you
Sorry.
go.
yep, Mr. B side himself.
You
His
know
nickname
what?
on his nickname
Track
on the team is Sniper. Okay, be like
track
the
stores.
Sniper.
Is it track
Sniper.
stores that
Yes.
has a tiny little? It's like a half sentence saying. What is it? Who is either track stores or Beatport? They say play different.
Mm,
Who is it? Is it track source or Beatport? I can't remember. I think it's
probably
track.
be bored. I feel
Yeah,
like tracks.
and Kasich is talking about Aphrodisia days. Back in the
Oh
when
my
I started
god.
following South African house music back in 2009, 2010, there was a website that these guys put together, and it was all like it was 95, 96% South African house music. So when I jumped on the scene and started building those relationships in SA, I I I abused that website. So to this day, those tracks are still within my grasp, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they get backed up three times a month if I have to. I'm not losing that crap, right? So I'll pull them out. This is the beauty of this night, this Wednesday night, right? As we're talking about not repeating songs and formula and all that kind of stuff. Now I have the opportunity and the platform to play all those things that I could never get a chance to play 11
Yes.
years ago.
Yes, yes. Hey, we want to say hello to a few folks that have joined on in.
RT9.
RT9 out of Indonesia. Good to
Good
see you.
morning. Morning,
Morning, man.
RT9.
How's the coffee?
How you doing, sir? RT.
That's my jam. Good to see you. And Machine JT, welcome on in. Thank you guys for joining us. House Culture Conversations. We're chopping it up with Deep Night. And this has been an amazing conversation so far. Just one, how amazing they complement each other, but more so, they're not together. They're not in a club on Wednesday playing one after the other. They're wherever they are in the world doing their thing, and it just works so well. And I saw one of the comments, somebody said, I can't see how you stay up that late. They start at 6 with Portia, and then at midnight with Russell Joseph, and they don't skip a beat. They're there for the whole time because the music is amazing. The community is rich. When's the last time you guys have seen each other in person?
When I was in Toronto in April. Is it
Yeah.
April? Yeah, it was
Yeah.
April. I think it was around Good Friday, Easter weekend.
Mhm.
So we saw each other. I feel like did we see each other that Friday for
It was a
roti and chill? We did
what?
like a roti and chill, which is like
Yeah,
It
yeah, yeah.
was where
yeah.
was it? What
And
about
then
Sunday?
you did Junction. Don't forget you did Junction.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. But I feel like we all like so we saw each other in April, essentially.
And what about
Right.
April.
Sunday? Sunday at Joe Bird's. What was that?
Yeah, we were all there for that.
Yeah,
Ross, you were there.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we saw each other, I think, that Friday and Sunday or
Mm-hmm.
something like that or yeah, something like that in April.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I try to come to Toronto as much as I can. It's not always logistically possible. I definitely would have loved to included Toronto in my US tour or North American tour, but it definitely did not kind of fit altogether. But I also say like people are like, oh man, I can't believe you're not coming. Like for me, I'm like you guys were like the first or the last rather the last people I saw before leaving the United States to venture into Argentina. So it always has like a very deep meaning for me to make sure that I see you before I go out. So I'll see you soon, for sure.
Yes, absolutely. So now, what is your perspective of now things are opening back up? You guys are live. Portia, you're out traveling and doing gigs, and Russell Joseph, 210, you guys are out and about. What's that dynamic like between playing gigs and streaming? Do you think they complement each other really well? And I'll start with you, DJ Russell Joseph.
Um, I stopped playing regular clubs back in the '90s. Um, and there was a huge reason for that. I probably won't get into it right now, but um, when Twitch came around, it was almost like it was almost like other people in the city got to know who I was from Twitch, and for me, that was a connecting dynamic. Um, yeah, like I mean, who would have known a washed up DJ from the '90s, a washed up club DJ from the '90s, if it weren't for Twitch, right? And
Stop it.
outside of the
He's
Potomac,
back. He's back.
yeah,
He's
exactly,
back.
yeah, and taking it a whole lot more chill than 25 years ago. Believe me, right?
Yeah, 210. Your thoughts on that?
it's a different thing for me. I'm able to take tracks that I'm either working on or things that I've just purchased and play them on Twitch and get the reaction, and then think, okay, this is going to be crowd ready, right? Because sometimes I buy stuff, I love it, but it doesn't translate live, right? And there's an energy when you're playing live, and we all can attest to this, that you feed off of what the people are giving you. And Twitch, you have a different way of how they feed the energy back to you, right? So I'm able to use and look at Twitch as a platform where it's reaching worldwide. So it's almost, I'm going to say this in a very respectful way, it's way more um, intuitive on how people are going to receive because there's so many more people. And they're from all over the world. It could be from Australia, it could be from Malaysia, it could be from here in Toronto, it could be from wherever in the world. And each perspective matters, right? And I use that feedback for my sets. And I think that's the difference between the two. And I don't know, there's no such thing in my mind, one is more than the other. They're both equally respectful and robust in their own fashion, right? So that's my
Interesting.
perspective.
That's an interesting point. That's awesome.
Definitely, Portia.
My take on it is a little different from I feel like the fellas. I feel like for me, I feel like playing live is somewhat sadly for me a little safer because I feel like in order to move people, I need to connect them to something that they love, something that creates a memory, blah blah blah. I feel like Twitch allows me to play whatever I want. I can. It's like my test ground for tracks where sometimes I know I can play a song that's a little bit slower, it's a little bit more melodic, or it's a little bit more lyrical, but I know I can't play that in a space because it will kind of sort of kill the vibe or like mellow out the vibe. So I feel like as much as I feel like in the last 2 3 years I've tried to create this who is Portia and what does Portia play and sticking to that. Sadly, I feel like a lot of times I have to sort of be safer. But I feel like also Twitch awards me the opportunity to test, right? To play things that I wouldn't typically play out in public. And so I love that I have the chance to do both. And sometimes I do play in, I throw in something that I feel like it's such a good song. You need to hear it even in like in time, real time, even if you don't know it. It doesn't always calculate to success. So, but that's fine too. And just you cut it a little shorter and you put something else in the sooner. So
See,
And
I'm not a mobile DJ, so I get to play whatever the shit I like. You know what else? You know what's interesting? That you know what's interesting? Because after Deep Night, I had to play Zeb's DCS.
yeah,
DCS is a whole other
it's a totally
machine.
different entity. Yeah, entity.
Yeah.
It's like it's
So
totally different.
when I played Zeb's Ray Train, I played a totally different type of set. Like it's a way deeper set, a way deeper set. And I know most people are probably, and it doesn't matter to me because I like testing stuff out too. But you know, I know they're probably trying to figure out what genre is this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's just some crazy sounds. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a good point that I play out live. I'm at a couple of venues in Toronto. I don't get a chance to play super deep house or Afro house. It doesn't. The Toronto venues that I play at, they can get one or two tracks, but after that, they're kind of like, "Can you play some Ariana Grande?" I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely, right, right. I can do that too, right." So I can journey. I can go from bachata to reggaeton to dancehall to house back to pop, funk, right? I can go into like some old 90s or 80s R&B and house, or so I can switch it up. Deep Night allows me, as my friends have said, allows us just to let our hair down. I don't have much hair, but let our hair down and just. It's not funny, Portia. Portia, okay, okay, okay. I'm gonna say this. Portia calls us milk duds, okay? And I'm not mad at this.
oh,
Here we go.
However, I am not just a milk dud. Okay, I am a handsome milk dud. Okay, so going forward, it's gonna be handsome milk duds.
Okay,
handsome no
I
doubt.
can add
Yeah.
that too. Okay,
Mm.
Thanks.
that's easy addition.
Anyways, that's all I have to say, Mr. Lott.
Now,
I was
so
like,
how have you guys developed? You said it. You guys don't get together. Maybe you saw each other back in April once, but you all have an amazing relationship. Where does that come from?
Synergy.
I guess because honestly, like I feel like from the first day that I got to meet you guys, I felt like I was home. Like we had dinner. I think it was the second day I was in Toronto. Like I arrived there late at night on a Wednesday, and we had dinner plans on Thursday that night, and it was just so easy. It was so organic. It felt very natural. I don't know if it's because maybe we chat quite a bit. Not so much. I feel like since I arrived back in the U.S., but I feel like since we met in person for the first time, like we've always just been in communication, and it just made I feel like our relationship easy. Like I feel like I've had like these two big brothers that have been looking after me for a couple months. Actually, I'm trying to think how long it had been between us being on deep dive to meeting, but it just felt very normal. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
think I think we're all chill. We're very chill personalities, and I think we like to joke a lot. We joke a lot about so many stupid things. We just
so
so
many dumb things.
yeah, we're just it's just honestly sometimes it's ridiculous. We're just like, oh my god. Like,
I
Yeah, I
think
think you guys really bring that spirit of, hey, let's have a good time.
yeah.
Let's not stress,
exactly.
right? The
We're just
song
friends.
runs out. It's okay. It's okay.
We're all friends here, right? Like I mean, you should see like our chats. Our chats are pretty wild. Sometimes
Uh,
there might be days that we don't say anything because we're all busy. We all lead lives and stuff like that, right? But on the days that we're in full force, like look out. Like I mean,
it's
I
ridiculous.
God help us if anybody read some of these chats. Like I mean,
Oh my
you know what I mean?
god.
And no,
There,
and I consider these two friends. Like I mean, I just went through some a life changing event. Nothing too heavy. Well, actually, it was kind of heavy, but whatever. And I leaned on these two for their opinions, and it weighed heavily in that decision, right? And I owe them a lot, right? I do, as being a person and then as well as being a DJ, because playing with these two, yo, they'll push you. They'll push you.
Yeah.
Especially
And
that
I
one there in the green.
yeah, that one in the green.
Yeah.
no,
The
like
one in the green.
my
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That one, that stick
Don't
of
even try to
dynamite over there.
argue. Don't try to
No,
argue.
no,
no.
I feel personally like in the last 5 years of my life or so, it's meant a lot for me to connect to people on a deeper level than just hey, like at a club, right? Because I feel like I learned a lot about friendships and so forth, and so to meet you guys kind of added this like uplifting and positive effect on my life. And it's like, yes, I didn't know you initially, but I felt like I knew you like right away, right? And so to meet in person just added value to what my life encompassed. And I feel like my new thing in the last probably 2 years or 3 years since the pandemic is quality, right? Quality of time with people, whether it's us chatting in our group chat, but I feel like it's gone beyond just the music, right? Like I feel like you guys know more about me than anything. Like 210 and I will like literally just
Oh,
get
that's
on the
fantastic.
phone and talk and like just I'll hash out or vent or whatever it is that's happening in my life. And then like Russell and I will have also like a slightly maybe like not necessarily like as deep a conversation, but it's like around different topics and different subjects. And so it's just like really nice to like either the three of us are all meshing, talking about either dumb things or serious things in life and life changes, or we're like separately involved in discussions about like really like deep things and things that affect me and things that I feel like are important to me. So I don't have a lot of people that I feel safe to say certain things with, and I feel like I found like my family in you two and being able to share whatever is
Thank
going
you.
on. So
That's
thank
That
you.
was
No,
that was so sweet. That
that's
was
special.
oh,
You
That's
see
so
special.
what
nice.
now? You see what Anya just said. Twitch
what do
Yeah,
gaming
you
has helped many people. That is a huge thing.
for sure,
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I've talked to
for
many
sure.
people, and they come as we said before. They come from all walks of life,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
right?
Yep.
So
100%.
that's important.
I've met people on here that I never would have connected with before, and
Exactly.
I've made relationships on here with people in real life that I never would have had the opportunity if it wasn't for this
100%.
platform,
100,
right?
100%.
Including yourself, Mr. Lot. Like honestly,
Absolutely.
this is not even a joke. There are things that are happening in this world where we want to know that there are people that are good and that they're here, right?
Yep.
And Twitch just brings a community of people that just love being good to each other, right?
Absolutely.
And the ones that,
Absolutely.
and on the flip side of that, those who don't want to be good, that's fine too, but they don't last very long,
No.
right? They
Hmm.
get drowned out by all the love that's on here. And I say that not with um, some kind of strange backstory, just as I think about it, as I see it, right? And we all love music, and we all just want to see each other win. And if that ever changes and somebody comes with something less than that, they don't survive. And we've witnessed it in all of our lives that if you're not coming with good intent, well, you fall on your own sword. And it has nothing to do with anybody here that's in this forum, right? That happens on its own. So
Absolutely.
we breathe life into each other, and we breathe life into all the individuals that come out and listen to any streamer and every streamer as we support them, and we appreciate people, and we just want that energy to reciprocate all the time. I think that's
Man,
what makes it work, right?
well said.
Yeah, we don't just listen to the
damn,
we
shut
don't
down the interview, why don't you, Jay? My God.
yeah.
But
So,
very eloquently put.
I'll stop at that. Sorry.
Yeah. Slim
No,
C.
no, that was well said. I mean, it was
Very
beautiful.
well.
You know, there's some tears. There's some tears being shed somewhere right now from those words. Twitch has made a difference in so many people's lives. It has connected so many people. I remember when I first got on Twitch, I was kind of just somebody said, "Hey, you ought to get on Twitch," and I was like, "Okay." And the next thing you know, I'm meeting so many amazing people, and this platform actually has found a home now as a place for us to have these conversations behind the scenes because they see you DJ, right? But they don't really get to hear from you. Like, what's on your mind? How did you guys come together? And so, I appreciate you guys just spending some time with the fam, not just me, but everybody in the chat. The chat is going bananas. That's my jam. Thank you so much for those bits. Appreciate the big one there. And I wanted to ask that question about the community and talking about your moderators. So I'd be remiss if I didn't give you guys a little bit of time, talk a little bit about the moderators, their importance, and about your mods. I'll start with you, Portia. Go ahead.
I feel like my mods are literally like the extension of my chat. I am so lucky to have such amazing people literally backing me up every time that I stream. I'm probably one of the worst in the sense that I'm trying to be better. I feel like when I was 17, I was better about letting my mods know like what race I'm in, But for the most part, like since I haven't been there, my biggest thing is like focusing on deep night, right? Because I don't know at any given day where I'm gonna be, what city I'm gonna be in. So that's been definitely inconsistent. But having that team has meant the world for me because it allows me to play my music and just like focus on that. I'll chip in like the chat here and there, but they literally are like my welcoming community, right? But even beyond that, like I feel like a large percentage of my mods, we have a very close one-on-one connection where we literally will schedule talks where we just chat about life. Like it has nothing to do with modding. It has nothing to do with Twitch. It has to do with like our personal lives. I've been lucky enough to meet some of my mods. The Toronto mods I've met. I'm hoping to meet my Chicago mods in at the end of September. And when I go back to Argentina, I'm hoping to meet my mods from Brazil. But it's just like, you have literally a team that holds you, like that makes sure that you play music and you like enjoy that time with people and you provide a time and a service while they got your back. Like they're welcoming people. It's been like, it's a blessing to have them. And like I said, like some of them I met in person and even stayed with some of them as, it goes further than just being on your phone, on your computer, and just like writing a few lines. It's been a lifeline for me, and I've made some amazing friends through like the mod process. My mods have been amazing. I'm not the greatest mod because I look at what my mods do. I'm like, oh man, Fuck that. I'm just not great at certain things that they do. And so I feel like this taught me a lot, but also I've just been.
Mod love, mod love. 210.
I tell you right now, I started off, I tried to mod for myself when I first got on Twitch, and then I was introduced to Green Alligators and Vicky, and she's a superior mod. Also, we have Jim Beam, and we also have Freckles. And I'll tell you right now, Freckles started off with me. Freckles is a huge streamer right now, and massive respect to him. He started off and just, helped me understand how Twitch was, and I modded for him as well. And I couldn't have done any of this Twitch, any of this without the mods that inspired me and helped me. There's times when I had technical difficulties. I get a call from Freckles. He's like, "Shut it down, Captain. We can't handle this one." I was like, "For real." Right? Like sometimes you get inside your own head and then you have a voice of reason. And the mods are your voice of reason, like, okay, today's not your day, right? And you're like, for real. So, and it's not just them doing the technical stuff. They are for example, in DJing, you have the DJ and then you have the selector. I'd always put my mods in the level of selector where they can let you know, engage what's good and what's bad and what's indifferent, and have a consult after the Twitch and say, look, I don't know what happened there, but maybe we should try this, maybe we should try that, or stay away from this, stay away from that. And I honestly put them right up there. I see them extremely important. I wanted to propose something to Twitch on where they do payouts, that if I name who my mods are, they get a portion of that payout, right? Twitch ignored me, right? And I think it's that important in my world.
That's it. Russell Joseph.
Well, there's no hiding. We share several mods and stuff like that. I think for me, it's a great thing that we share mods. It's another thing because the mods that we do share are all very outgoing. They can be maybe even outspoken, but all that helps the chat. And I think they move everything along while you're streaming. Right? If you look at some of our mods, they're very outgoing, they're very engaging, and it's not because they have a duty per se. That's just how they are, right? And they help that channel, just run so smoothly. So
yeah. I want to shout out Patty Cage. Thank you, Patty Cage. She's
I also want to shout out the viewers too, because Deep Night thoroughly enjoys the viewers just as much as mods, and just as much, just like DJs. For me, the viewers are just as important as the DJ playing music.
I love that. I love that.
That's we talked about this in our Deep Night chats for a while now, and the viewers are really important to us. Extremely.
Yes. Miss Elaine, Lady Simone, DJ Carlos Fuerte, DJ Slim C. You listen to House Culture Conversations, and we have been having a time with the Deep Night crew, DJ Portia 210 and DJ Russell Joseph. Wow. I've got a question for you that's a little bit off the beaten path. Who is your favorite pop star? And I'll start with you, 210.
The Weeknd.
Oh, The Weeknd. All right. Why is that?
I like his style. I like his artistic visions, and I like how he translates that into his consistency. After the last, I think, 5 albums, they've just been consistently good, right?
The Weeknd.
And he hasn't tried to do something too crazy. Yeah.
Hey, RT9, you got that down? All right. Portia, who is it for you?
I don't know if this would be controversial to call her pop star, but I feel like Beyonce. Like I feel like her work ethic, and from the last concert that I saw her in LA to what she's doing now, I haven't seen her in the like Renaissance festival or concert, but she's just like her work ethic is beyond. No Swifties here, Yogi Chick. I appreciate her economic influence in different cities, but
no Swifties, huh? No Swifties. Uh-oh. What about you, DJ Russell Joseph?
To be honest, I don't listen to pop music anymore. I don't.
So from back in the day, who would it have been?
What are the options?
You got Michael Jackson, you got Prince, you got all the greats.
It's too many, man.
We just love good
Just
music.
some
Just
DJ Russell
good music.
Joseph.
What was that? I just, yeah, Michael Jackson, probably.
Gotta love Michael Jackson. Can't go
Honestly,
wrong with Michael
well-rounded.
Jackson.
Yeah,
All right, we got Philip Haitian in the building. Philip the Haitian, what's happening? Good to
Believe.
see you, Philippe. Thank you. That's right. That's right. House Culture Conversations coming at you. Hey, listen, we're gonna wrap up here in a moment. What would you like to say to your fans? What would you like to share with them before we get ready to go? And I'm gonna need somewhere to raid to.
I mean, I want to say to our fans, like I feel like I try to reiterate this every time that I stream, if I can talk, which I haven't been able to talk for the last month almost. I'm kidding. For the last three streams, I streamed on Thursday and I was able to get on mic. But one of the things that we talk about as the night and as what I feel as far as I'm concerned is we are so grateful for you guys coming back time and time again to support us, to listen to our music, to be there for our streams. You have no idea. Like maybe people feel like because sometimes when I go on somebody's stream, I don't feel like I mean anything, right? But like I feel like you guys mean something. Like I follow you on your socials, and I try to be engaged in your socials, and sometimes I try to bring it on my stream and be like, oh my god, I love that joke you made about this and that, or I'll check in on you, like, hey, how's your dog doing? I saw you posted something just to connect with you because I feel like you make such a big difference in our streams. You create this space, you create this community. So we are really, really, as the night, I'm gonna say we're really thankful for your time. We're really thankful for your presence. So thank you for coming back
the
time and
viewers.
time again.
Exactly. It points back to the viewers. It goes right back to them. Honestly, if the viewers weren't there, who were we playing for?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who were we playing for?
Straight up.
Um, yeah.
All right, so where are we going?
Oh, we got a couple people. I see Mike Freak is on. I see Infiltrate 808 is on. BK Sweetest. There's so many.
I
What do
see
you guys think?
DCI is out there.
He
PCR.
is? He
Yeah,
is?
Yep.
he's been on for a while, I think.
Yes. Hopefully he doesn't leave. Pangean is on.
Pangy in. Yeah, I see him.
DJ
DJ
on.
Trying Blade. The whole fam is on. Oh.
Yeah, everybody. It's Saturday night, man. It's Saturday
That's
night.
Prime
hard.
time, prime time. Hey, well, I want to tell you guys, thank you guys so much because I know how busy you are, how to coordinate this so we could get a chance just to learn a little bit more about you guys. But as the machine JT just said, it is party time. So, what do you guys think? Where we going?
Fellas.
DCI, Mike Freak,
Yeah, let's go see Mike Freak.
Mike
Let's
Freak.
go see Mike Freak. I feel like
Here
he
we
might
go.
continue the party on.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
D-Lot,
For
thank you
sure.
very much.
Thank
You
you.
are most welcome.
Thank you
And
so
this
much.
What you're
for
doing
having me.
here is a great thing, honestly.
Yeah, I've enjoyed watching your previous shows. I might not always catch him like when they're live, but I catch him later. So
and that's the heart of the Twitch fam. You know, we all want to be. There's some nights we got 5 windows open, right?
Yeah.
Trying to catch a little bit of everybody that's on, and that's
Sure.
because we love each other and appreciate. And like 210 was saying earlier, just supporting everybody as best we can because it truly is family out there. And with that, we're going to see you guys on the other side. Mike Freak, we're going to go party with him. You guys have an amazing rest of your weekend. Next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, Deep Night. If you don't deep night, now you deep night.
What are
Let's
you
go
really
get
doing with your lives, though? That's deep
Like,
night.
seriously.
Honestly, what are you doing between 6
Yeah.
and midnight? And
it.
that's 6 and
6 to midnight.
midnight-ish.
That's right.
Yeah.
That
Time to
is right.
convert. Time to convert.
All right, here we go. Let me see if I can get this right.
Peace
Once
out.
again, thank you guys so much.
Thank you, D-Lot. Appreciate
Big
you.
heart,
Massive.
big
oh,
love.
always great to see you fellas.
Yes,
Here
lady.
we
Yeah,
go.
go back and drink some champagne now.
Yeah, let me see who's still here. I think
Who's
some of my
DJing
friends
now?
left.
Yeah, who's
I don't
playing that
know.
No,
Wu-Tang?
a lot of your folks hung out. So
I
we
don't know
just
who's still left
we
behind.
just rated over 35 folks. So most of your folks hung in
Cool.
there. We
Cool, cool,
appreciate
cool.
you guys so much.
Dope.
Thank you,
And let me
guys.
end the broadcast. You guys hang tight for a second.